the Love album. Now this is where things get
super gay.
On February 27th, Combs was sued by producer Lil Rod Jones for $30 million for sexual assault. The Lil Rod worked with Combs on his Love album and says that he was subjected to sexual misconduct for the duration of the production process.
This was the one where I think it like Cuba Gooding Jr. is like giving him like a back massage or has his like hand on this guy's knee. It's like really fucking creepy.
Right. Cuba Gooding Jr. is implicated in a lot of the stories that Rodney Lil Rod Jones is bringing up. And let's see, you know, I guess
Cuba Gooding Jr. was heard to say,
"Why you bringing up old shit?"
But this isn't even that old because this was in February. And let's see, Combs repeatedly, because this is the Love album, Joe. So I assume Diddy walks into the production studio and it's just like, I want the album to sound like me fingering your asshole. So he's just rubbing this guy's balls. And he's just like, this is what the album should sound like.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is just like, we're making Radio 2, and this is the song that I want to hear out of the radio on Radio's bike.
Yeah. I want it to sound like this. You know, me popping your asshole with my digits.
Your virgin butt cherry.
Yeah.
Your what do they call it? Bussy.
Yeah. Yeah, the liner notes for the Love album are scratch and sniff. But Diddy repeatedly groped Lil Rod's anus and crotch without consent and attempted to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship.
Hang on.
Yes?
That's what you're reading this verbatim, right?
This is what Lil Rod is.
He groped his anus
and crotch.
Consent. You can't grope an anus without consent. Like you can grab somebody's ass. You can like goose somebody or like wait for them to spread their legs and kind of get right in there. But like if you're wearing pants and underwear, you're not going to grope an anus.
Yeah. Diddy's like knocking pencils on the floor, waiting for Lil Rod to bend over and pick him up, and then sticking his thumb in his butt through his pants.
All of their names are so ridiculous. It's Diddy. It's Little Rod. Like all of these things are just like, diddle me this, Batman. I'm going to use your little rod in Uranus. It's awful.
It's gangsta.
Yeah. I think it's a deleted track where Diddy is talking about Lil Rod's anus.
Juicy.
But
yeah, Little Rod was like,
I'm just about that action, boss.
And then, okay. So Diddy attempts to groom Lil Rod into accepting a homosexual relationship by showing him explicit videos, claiming it was a normal practice in the music industry. He claims that Combs would walk around the house naked and force him to watch him shower. Well, it's normal.
It would just be like, I don't have time for this, dude. Like, what are you doing? Why are we here to record an album or am I here to wait for you to take a shower? Like, could we put any value on my time? Yeah. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you even there?
I tend to believe, well, I don't know what to believe, but I did see that episode of Dave where Lil Dicky is over at Benny Blanco's and they're running around naked, looking at each other's dongs. And it was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen on television. And if somebody tried to say this is how you produce a rap album, I would quit the industry. But apparently Lil Rod and Diddy and Benny Blanco and Lil Dicky are all about checking each other's peckers.
Okay, Chuck.
Not that, Lil Dicky, Benny Blanco have nothing to do with this scandal, but when there's parallels here in the rap game of running around, hanging out with dudes naked.
Well, it is weird. I hearken back before we shit all over this. I remember the whatever that metal. There was like a metal show, like a reality show, where like you win a thing, and Lamb of God was one of the bands and everything like that. And there is like a kind of like testing the metal of a person. I recall people like spitting on each other or like just spit into this other guy's mouth or some
they were making the guy do jumping jacks and shaving lightning bolts into his head. They weren't saying, hey, compare the way our buttholes taste.
Well, no. But my point being is like we're going to test you. It might be like a gross out thing, or it might be a workout thing. Or like we're going to test you in a way or push you. There's the classic stories of Metallica fucking with like Jason Newsted and stuff like that. Like he's the new guy. There's like these kind of hazing rituals now, but that's how this all starts. You're just like, oh, I just got to kind of like earn my way in, and then it's just like, well, are you okay with this? You're kind of like rubbing my shoulders weird, okay, but what am I going to do, run out of here like a scared kid because of it? And then it starts like snowballing into, would you suck a dick for a record contract?
Well, right. That's definitely it. There's just not an HR representative for Lil Rod to report to.
Yeah. I'd say this is a lot of grooming, very grooming.
Yeah. And then what I did was Google the bigger names of the people that were implicated in these allegations, and of course right at the top of the list was Cuba Gooding Jr., who allegedly was participated in drugging and sexually assaulting a woman, and was also what you were bringing up. They took Lil Rod. Diddy's like, I want to introduce you to Cuba Gooding Jr. He's going to help us with your career. They take him and
it says, show me the money.
Right. Yeah. And they bring him on the yacht, and then Diddy's like, I'll be right back. And Cuba Gooding Jr. starts like rubbing up on him, like rubbing his thighs and trying to grab his dick through his pants. And Lil Rod had to fight him off with his big rod or, whatever. So Cuba Gooding Jr. is definitely has a big target on his back now as being as creepy as Diddy.
Yeah, it feels like Hollywood figured out Cuba Gooding Jr. a long time ago, like post Jerry Maguire, As Good as It Gets, and then like fucking nothing. It was just like Cuba Gooding Jr. was too fucked up for the pedophiles in Hollywood.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because he hasn't really been in anything for a long, long time, except
right.
I think he was on he was in that Ryan Murphy, I think it was the Roanoke season of American Horror Story. It's maybe the last thing I remember him being in, but I mean, trying to say that if you're in a Ryan Murphy production, trying to claim that you're not gay is not going to work very well for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's see. Now, other people associated with this were two, I think they were supposed to be rappers, but they were basically just sex workers that Diddy kept around. Because Lil Rod suit says that Daphne Joy and Young Miami were sex workers who were paid basically to be on call as Diddy's, sex slaves, then Lil Rod.
Okay, Young Miami is that is. I see. She is one of the city girls. Yeah, interesting.
Okay, so basically, Lil
The
Rod's
city
like, I would
girls.
go to a party, I would get roofied, and then I would wake up in bed with Young Miami and Diddy, and
Dude, I wish I got fucking drugged and woke up next to Young Miami. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it could be worse. I mean, compared to some of the other things we're about to get into, that's probably the best thing that happened to Lil Rod.